But if you want to do fictional, then it's easy. The genie from Aladdin.
What?
I mean,
Then you get 3 wishes. Then you get 3 genie wishes. And you can wish for more wishes. So
no, they took that. That's a contract thing. You can't do that anymore. Everyone knows that.
What do you mean? I rub the lamp, I get 3. I rub the lamp, I sign the contract, I get 3 wishes.
Yeah, but in the contract, you can't sign unless you wish for a lawyer. You can't wish for more wishes.
There's a loophole.
In the terms of service.
There's got to be a loophole. You can wish for more genies.
Yeah, that actually does make sense.
All right, AJ, we've got 5 minutes again. Today's opt-in. We're going to talk about leveraging the skills you gain as an SDR to your future career growth. As we've seen, especially at Demand Drive, with how many SDRs we have, there's more than just one track from SDR to sort of the next career path, right? You don't just have to become an AE or maybe like a sales manager. You could go into customer success. You could go into marketing. You could go into recruiting. There's really a lot of different avenues. I'd like to hear your opinion, what you think maybe some of the most important and most transferable SDR skills are.
Great question. And as somebody who in his career has leveraged a lot of different things that you get from being an SDR, finding just a couple to mention is going to be difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that, and it depends on what type of SDR you are. So speaking from personal experience, obviously, I think one of the biggest things that I still draw on today that I learned and honed as an SDR is the importance of an attention to detail. And specifically, I'm thinking about like when I'm writing an email or speaking with somebody on the phone, and presenting myself in a way that I want someone to look at me as a credible, authoritative source, or like, not just some kid who's trying to sell them a piece of software. Like, as an SDR, the biggest boon that I had, the feather in my cap, was that everything I did looked very professional. I had a hyper attention to detail. All of my follow-up emails looked really polished. When I was speaking on the phone, I knew exactly who the person was. I didn't, fumble over like, oh, did I call the right person or not? Like, that's the kind of stuff that a lot of SDRs don't think about. I think when you're doing the job, it's just easy enough to pick up the phone 100 times and say you did a good job that day. But if you're intentional about what you're doing and you pay attention to the detail you're putting in, you'll see a lot more success. And that has easily transferred over to what I'm doing in marketing today, where the stakes, I would say, are a little bit higher. Like, I'm dealing now with like the revenue operations for a company versus one individual team at an organization. So the attention to detail that I have now is very meaningful, and something that I don't know if I would have had I not honed that skill as an SDR.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you're pointing to a specific skill that then you realize was really useful for marketing, because obviously that's the direction you went in. But I wonder, and I'm just thinking out loud here, that there's probably other skills you can pick up that that you notice yourself picking up, you enjoy doing, right? Like, you enjoyed like making sure the email was formatted right, and you can see how easily that translates to marketing. I'm wondering, maybe if you have any off the top of your head, I can think too, but for other departments, maybe you want to go into recruiting. Like, what kind of skill could you pick up as an SDR there? Maybe you want to go into training, what SDR skills translate the best to training? And so, yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that for other departments.
If I'm thinking customer facing, customer in the sense of like recruiting, customer success, like talking to somebody, I think being an SDR and just being able to talk about anything, right? Like there's no like cut and dry, just conversation is A, B, and C, and then you're done type situations as a rep. Like, you have to know when someone says something, you take that conversation into a particular direction, you get zig and zag all over the place. That's just useful to have in life, right? Like, if you're talking to somebody and they're a real person and they have thoughts and feelings and emotions, it's not like a robot back and forth type conversation. And doing that as an SDR allows you to do that in customer success, recruiting, higher up or deeper down the sales funnel, higher up in leadership, like super transferable.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good one for sort of an all-encompassing one, because it's definitely something I learned how to do, is just like I think growing up as a kid, especially like in just like, the public school system, like messing up is bad. Making mistakes is a lower grade. That's bad for you. So being able to learn as an adult, like as an SDR, like, oh, I messed up that email campaign. Oh, well, like learning how to overcome that, recognize what you did wrong, learn from your mistakes 100%. But knowing that like you don't have a worse grade, not that you're being graded because you messed that up, is really important, at least it was for me, important to understanding that like I can have a conversation with somebody and talk to them. I may have misspoken, maybe I said accidentally, like I thought our product did this and it doesn't, but that's okay. And getting comfortable and just getting the reps in talking to strangers through that, I think is huge for, like networking, like you said, growing your career, getting to know people within your own company, especially if it's a larger one. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts as the timer runs?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head in the end there. Just like, if you're an SDR, it's going to serve you well in all facets of life. And hey, it's okay to mess up. I love that. Don't do it on purpose, but it's okay.
It's okay. All right, AJ, 15 seconds. Tell everyone about Opt-in.
Opt-in, quick, 5-minute videos, no fluff, actionable tips. You can find us on our YouTube, on our LinkedIn, on our Instagram, and on the website, demandrev.com. I held myself back so hard because you said, you were like, I'm not going to get a worse grade. And in my mind, all I wanted to say was, yeah, Alex, the grade is your salary. And if you do poorly, you don't have money. But I didn't say that.
The grade is your salary. That is, I guess.
Yeah, hey, look, I fucked up another campaign. Like, oh, well, looks like I can just, learn and keep going. And it's like, no, Alex, you haven't done anything right in 6 months. Like, we can't keep paying you for this. I don't know what you're expecting here.
You guys are paying me?